So it's another daily vlog. I struggle with that word vlog. I don't know why. It's not even a hard word. Vlog. But here we are. Rolling through the streets of Clayton, North Carolina. I hope that I find you well. Not perfect, but well. And whatever you're going through, you go through it with gratitude. Just realizing that, hey man, we're here. It's another day that we woke up. So be grateful. But with that, man, let's get to it. Every morning, I get up consistently, 5 or 6 days a week, and I go to my gym. It's nice. I get to take my son with me, and you might hear him in the back talking, but we're gonna go forward anyway. And I take him with me, and they have child watch. He gets to go in and interact and play with other kids while I work out. That's the pattern. It's never failed. It's always worked. Well, I get there this morning, and it's funny. I saw a girl going in before I got in my car with her child, and she came back out. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Whatever. I thought maybe somebody, maybe she got a call and she had to go handle some business or whatever. Then I walked in, and I realized that they were closed, and there was a couple, a man and a woman with their child standing there waiting, and the lady's face was she was frustrated, and the husband was kind of giving the worker the business about this situation. Now, obviously in this case, you can tell that the person behind the counter had zero to do with it. I think the person that was working in the child care that day was in the hospital. So it was an emergency situation. This is, again, I've been going there for over a year. This has never happened before. This was the moment where I felt like God was testing me. Like my workouts are important to me. And I was like, yo, what are we gonna do here? How are we gonna show up? I really believe that as believers, we are called to be set apart and show up differently. I think in Joshua 3:5, it says that Joshua told the people to be consecrated or set apart for God's work. And this was one of those times where I was like, okay, how are you going to respond to an adversity in your life? Because I really believe that if there was a crowd of people behind me in that moment, I'm called to show up different. And so her name was Amanda, and I said, Amanda, not going well. And she kind of looked at me, and I said, no worries. I said, I get it. Things happen. She told me the story. I actually had to do some paperwork, and we talked back and forth, and I felt like it was my business to make sure that I left her better than I found her in that moment. And I really believe as believers, it is our responsibility to be set apart. Not that we feel like we're better, not that we feel like we're above, but we move different, especially when challenges occur. What happens when you're driving through traffic, somebody steals your parking lot or your parking space, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or whatever it is, somebody treats you bad. Do you match their energy? Do you match the energy of the situation? Or do you gather your thoughts and say, wait a minute, and this right here is a test, and I got to show up, not perfectly, but this is where I need to pour on some grace to the situation, and I need to be able to look back on it and say, yo, I handled that the way God would want me to handle it. And so I really feel like this morning I did. And I'm telling you now, deep down, like, I was very disappointed. I wanted to work out. I already had it in my mind. And then the second tool that I use in this space that's very, very powerful is I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is for protection. Maybe God doesn't want me on the road after my workout because something was going to happen. I wonder how many times in your life and in my life has God been letting a situation like this happen to protect us for something later? And do we have the awareness to recognize it and actually celebrate it, right? Rejoice in a moment that seems like it's a detour, a distraction, but it's actually all for protection. And so as you move forward in your life, number one, remember the scripture, Joshua 3:5, that you are called to be set apart. If I see you in a crowd, I should know that you're a believer by how you move. Even if you don't even talk, I should feel something different from you. And then I'll throw in a bonus scripture that really helps me. And that's Romans 12:1, which is condensed version, be renewed by the transforming of your mind. When you start to transform your mind and realize that you are a spiritual creature having a human experience and that some things are not going to go your way, but you're going to react in a spiritual way, it'll start to change your life. Like always, my name is Cornelius, and I help people, including myself, get out of their own way. Now go be great.